Welcome back, guys. This was the beginning of game one, which was the death of Crazy, basically over and over and over again. Khan countering him up on the top side with that top lane. Gragas just trying to shut him down, but did even more than that, getting the first kill and getting the ball rolling here for Kingzone.
This was the even more impressive to me, the 2v2 kill in the bot lane. They eventually got the roam coming down. I would argue the Camille also had a big excitement for taking down the Jace rather than just Gragas beating Jace up at every moment. By the end, there was such a big lead that there was nothing Crazy could do. Every time he tried to find something to farm, he was finding two members of the enemy team and thus going to the death chamber very promptly.
All the highlights are just going to be Peanut showing up and saying, hello, I'm back. Sorry about this, but I have to win for my team. Nothing personal. But really, it was just Crazy getting caught again and again.
I love this highlight reel of Crazy dying.
I know.
That's all we're getting here.
This time it was BDD's turn to hop on the train.
There's one more play, but that's a bit later. This was the cross-map arrow. Tempt goes and gets CC'd for days. The CC bar only just ends as his health bar reaches 0. Kingzone chase in, and I love the bloodthirst here. This was a really aggressive performance by Kingzone. They could have just gone the Gen G way of being like, we got this lead, let's slowly split push down every inhibitor, get a Baron. But it didn't have to be like that. They could just be super aggressive. Gets the bop, predicts the flash. Nicely done by Khan. Goodbye, Crazy. Goodbye, BBQ in game number 1. A 25-0-2 victory. This gold graph has to be zoomed out to 15,000 in a 25-minute game.
And Khan had the most damage on the Rift out of anybody on tank Gragas top. Definitely says a lot about the way that this game went. He also did have the only death on the Rift, which did stop them from getting the perfect game. But it wasn't in vain, as he was able to pick up a kill on that play as well. And so Kingzone, they did it in 25 minutes. Now my question is, can they do it faster in game number 2?
I believe the Rocks Tigers back in the Frey Gorilla days have the shortest game time ever in LCK history, around 19 minutes. Khan picks up the MVP, and that actually really does increase his stranglehold on the regular season MVP ranking. With potentially only 3 games to play for Kingzone, he now has a 200-point lead at the top of the standings.
There you go. He wanted those extra MVP points. He got it with the Gragas. Says up at the top, it's just he plays well. He is really good, basically.
Well, no longer can he be a Mundo abuser like he was for the majority of those players. If we know Khan in history, always a tank role player. Never played any carries in his life. Crazy hoping no more carries will come out of Khan, otherwise game 2 might be just as perilous as game number 1.
Yeah, just no counter pick on the Jace and I'll be happy. So guys, let's jump into pick ban for game number 2. BBQ on the blue side this time. What do they got? What are they gonna bring out new here? Because game number 1 was not really what you ever want to see from any team.
BBQ on the blue side, first ban the Camille. Annoying flex pick if they want to try and run a lane-dominant top lane like the Kennen or Gnar can be troubling. Does that looks like DJ Sona? No, it's an Ashe. Never mind.
Yep, that's Prey.
I saw the bottom part and I thought it was a kind of mixed table for the DJ Sona.
It did look like that.
Not anymore. Oh no, second ban here on blue side. So far, Kingzone has banned out the stuff that no one's scrimming because they're 100% banned. Becomes a bit silly street if we see Taliyah or Aatrox in a game. We've actually never had Aatrox after Rework in Korea.
Yeah.
Rework went live at Rift Rivals. He has been banned 100% of games since then.
That's what I was saying before the Crazy fan went on. You know, when LeBlanc was permabanned, eventually teams began to let it through and say, like, hey, maybe we can deal with this. We have a counter. And then it just dumpstered like 2 or 3 games in a row, and then they started permabanning it again. I would have to imagine that's what would happen with Aatrox.
People tried that with Taliyah and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So the Nocturne, that experiment did work. The Taliyah one failed, and the Aatrox one, no one even has the spheres to leave it open. With the Ezreal ban, BBQ says, screw it, first pick Varus. They don't actually take the Tahm Kench first, which maybe means that Ignar is feeling frisky with the engage.
Hey, I mean, that sounds good. The only thing is that if you don't pick it, then the enemy team is going to pick it. So your engage can be shut down by the one big catfish the majority of the time. They're going to lock it in. And everything is right with the world, at least on Kingzone's side, although they're thinking about another Rise game here for our man BDD in the mid lane.
Wonder if Tempt would take the FLICKR into it. That went very well in game number 1, I believe, of our first, no, it's one part of our first series. Anyway, he's going to digress for a moment. The Zed would be the most hype pick, but he's not going to play it.
Come on.
One day, BDD...
Why would Peanut do that to us?
I don't know. We need Zed before bed, BDD, but unfortunately, the Zed will not come at the second pick on the red side. Weird.
If I were him, I would just try to get new picks that were not too far out of the meta, so I could have a really high champion pool number.
All about your own numbers, aren't you, Valdez?
Yes.
Well, finally, Ignar going to go on engage. He's been on Tom Kent's duty a lot recently. Kind of weird to look at Ignar's stats and look at his most played on the season Tom Kent, given his user identity as an engaged player. There is a Kingzone win Prey fan sign, as Prey will be jumping on the Ashe 2 games in a row.
Very straightforward, that one. Ashe comes in, Cannon gets banned. So maybe they're looking to play something a little bit tanky up in the top side. Take the Cannon away. Already this early on in the second phase.
Could also be the Rise, I guess, but the top lane Rise play has been a little bit limited recently. Cho'Gath has been the blind pick for both Crazy and Khan many times in the last 3 weeks. So at some point, he becomes the safest pick to pick up. See what Kingzone want a last pick for, because they have the Rise flex for now. Could be Peanut's jungle champion, or could be the top lane, as that's our current expectation and evaluation of the draft. Do they ban the Vel'Koz, or do they leave it open? They will, in fact, ban the Cho'Gath. And now you do start to wonder about what top laner Khan will be playing.
It's definitely a couple of suspicious bans in a row. And if there's anyone to pick something weird and try to pop off a little bit, it would be Khan.
Mundo always an outside chance, and now Mundo looking pretty attractive with almost everything banned away. The lanes into Mundo. At some point, Cho'Gath, Cannon, Gnar, and Darius are all banned, so can definitely think about the Mundo in the top lane being absent for the majority of recent memory. What do Kingzone want? There's so many different things they could do. Well, they are going to hold top lane, and Prey will lock in the Zac for Peanut. 1-0 on the season. He's never lost on the Zac domestically. Only 1 game loss on Zac in his career. That was over at MSI. His Zac, very, very impressive, whether he's ahead or behind. So cool to see the pick.
This definitely puts the pressure on Crazy to... You know, it definitely feels like in terms of tier list, Jace is very far up there. It's almost like they're trying to bait him into, oh, okay, they
already
banned.
banned.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, are they trying to bait him into picking it again?
It feels like when they played MVP and they were counter-picking Maha, and you were like, oh no. In this spot on the blue side, Maha, as an unrecognized top laner, did blind pick the Karma, you'll remember, for the most lane priority. Mundo, GP, both available. It is a really safe spot for the Mundo, but you can start farming as the GP. Would Kingzone consider the ultimate dunk fest and go for a Riven or something super crazy? They will not. They will just go into the GP after all.
Again, there's way too much on the line to be messing around with the pick and ban. It seemed like they really wanted to open up that GP, and if BBQ banned it, maybe you go for the Darius or something, hope they pick the Mundo. You were going to get the counter pick anyway. And yeah, it's interesting. Khan's going to be back on the GP. He has played it before, I believe.
He definitely has played it in the past, but not been a big pick for him this season.
Yeah, I actually don't have any numbers for him on GP.
Yeah, I believe it is his first game on this season. Been
I just
focusing
assumed.
on other stuff, but he certainly has played it in spring season. Can Prey and Gorilla find 2v2 kills like they were in the previous game? Maybe an even bigger problem than what was happening top lane. We know that Khan will be happily farming. I'm always really happy to see Peanut on the Zac. To me, it was the Cinderhawk champion that allowed him to bridge the gap away from his old Elise Nidalee only days into the Cinderhawk meta. He's very creative on this pick. As early as level 3, he can make fun things happen around the map.
It's definitely a champion that brings action with him. If he jumps into the lane, then you know that something is going down or something is popping up, as is the way of Zach. Khan back on the gangplank after a long time here. Summer's been so short that I felt like it wasn't summer when the last time we played it was, but I guess that was in spring. Lots of gangplank across the Rift overall, as so many safe lanes, especially if we ban out stuff like Kennen and the Cho'Gath, Darius as well. So he's gonna have a fun time up there, but looks like the countdown is ready and has started. So let's jump into game number 2 right away. BBQ up against Kingzone.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Well, here we go. Kingzone on the red side this time around.
Tempt continues to roleplay a bird. He's on BBQ, so can understand that. Ignar,
Yeah.
he's got his cowbell going. I love it. Always a big fan of the cowbell. Sadly, no BBQ Oliver's skin on the Galio. Peanut's secret weapon, as we know. Also rocking the secret weapon Zac skin. He's gonna dance too. Everyone's in a jovial mood after the 25-minute destruction of BBQ by Kingzone DragonX first time out. Will be Klepto on the gangplank, just trying to farm against the Mundo. In terms of keystones, everything else pretty standard around the Rift.
Peanut gonna be starting red here. Praying Gorilla just, will we actually take the blue? No, just gonna
Fake leash.
fake leash, lose some mana. Go back down to the bottom lane. Make it look like the Zac is starting blue. So I wonder where Peanut's gonna go from the red buff and what path he will take.
So the reason why you want to do that, even if Peanut doesn't end up ganking, if you just see Peanut power farm, you might think, okay, why do they even bother fake leash? Is that, remember, as Zac, you have the ability to power farm both the Gromp and the blue buff, but that's almost always where the enemy jungle will path to stop the power farming at level 3 when you have all 3 abilities up. So the fake leash does actually increase the chance that Peanut can power farm 2 camps and make his jungle full clear even faster.
Just gonna start on the top side here. They have a ward in the top side river should spot Sejuani. Ping comes out. So they will have information on him. And Peanut probably just gonna clear the Krugs, go back, but Trick actually coming up into the enemy jungle aggressively here. Seems like he's read into this path. He's looking to find Peanut.
Finds Peanut very low. His passive's still up. Are they gonna try and break it? Here they are.
Trick hits level 3 too. The red buff ticking down, but Peanut will live and hit level 3 as well in the lane.
Level 3, his passive is up. The turret threat should not be there. BBQ can invest teleports, I guess, if they really wanted this. But it's more about putting pressure onto
dancing. Peanut's not scared at all. He's totally fine so far, but Trick is still here.
He's gonna try and interrupt the back as well.
Well, he's gonna be able to interrupt it, but not able to kill Peanut.
Peanut doesn't want to give up anything onto the top side, even though a turret dive seems impossible. Onto Khan. I guess Trick just wants to battle ward Peanut for a little bit. Whatever happens in the rest of the season, he can say that he won a duel against Peanut in the early game, and, you know, little victories.
It's, you know, one of those stats that you love to hate. Although it's not a stat, maybe Trick can make one of it.
I want to talk a bit about the mid lane matchup. This grew to be a good lane for the Rise. By the end of spring season, you'll remember, kind of like the Gnar was losing to GP by the end of spring season. It should be an even better matchup now as the tech involves Corrupting Potion, Time Tonic, the Biscuiteer as well. There's so much sustain available through the Inspiration Tree that BDD should be even more comfortable into the Azir matchup and probably win it even harder than previously. So was the Azir picked into Rise? You would imagine because Tempt is most comfortable on the pick, rather than necessarily the laning match.
Yeah. So far, you can see the difference already in the mid lane. About 10 CS ahead is the Azir. So far, Peanut with his own clear in the top side is going to actually secure the bottom scuttle. As Trick spent a lot of the time up in the top side, Peanut cleared his own top side and then went back. So Peanut gonna have priority on the map with this kind of jungle pathing.
See what it's in service of. On bot lane, but no shopping trips have been done yet by either of the duo laners. Sad not to see Peanut pull off a level 3 gank. It's kind of the most identifiable things about his Zac, but he got his power farm on in terms of the Gromp and the blue buff, so he's got that goal for him at least.
It's just about as powerful as possible here. It would have been better if Trick didn't find him, but it's just a small little hitch into that. But you can see that he has priority on the camps that are taken, whereas the Sejuani is going to be a bit behind on that. They're both going to be clearing the Krugs. None of these junglers going to go for a gank at all early on. You think maybe you go towards Temp, but the cleanse very normal up against the Rise, so a little bit hard to do that. Mundo a little bit tanky. GP doesn't have much in terms of helping out a gank on the top side as well. And the battle warding stopped that play early on. And in the bottom side, well, it's only Ashe and the Tahm Kench. No Alistar on your side, so the Zac would have to do the engaging there.
Ever since the offseason, after 2017 Worlds, changed the respawn timers of the jungle camps, Ashe actually rose in priority in some ways, and that's actually largely around the Hawkshot. The Hawkshot's ability to show you whether a camp has been cleared or not gives timers to the jungler, and because the timers are actually relevant, it's a bit longer, as Gorilla just gets headbutted further away from the turret. You can actually get so much information with your jungler from Hawkshot, and the Hawkshot's long cooldown isn't as relevant because the respawn timers are quite long. You can give map hacks to your junglers like old Clairvoyance style from Season 1 in a way that not many people talk about. Just always interesting in a slow game to watch those Hawkshot players as Trick, looking for this turret dive.
Khan does have the Cannon Barrage. Is going to be able to eat the oranges. Really nice flash away from that one. Crazy, not able to tank for long enough. Here's Gorilla with his own TP from the bottom lane. BDD coming in with his own Realm Warp. Is going to try to lock down Trick. It's only the small one, but he might be able to do it. Nice Emperor's Divide, but BDD flashing forward. Is able to pick up the kill. Has enough health as well in order to stay alive against any follow-up damage, and Kingzone will get on the board first.
Gorilla gets there first because of the unsealed spellbook. No ability for Alistar to join, but Alistar's here now. Here comes Azir.
Well, this bird in a little bit of trouble. Thankfully, Alistar is there, and BDD is out of mana. The Ignite coming in too. He's able to cleanse away and the Devour as well. How about an Ash Arrow just for some extra help and morale as they get another kill. Really nice read this time onto Tempt.
Probably a pretty poor read by Tempt, though. Could not have expected two people to be there when he blasting planted over. We're going to watch the replay. Coming on to Khan, if his orange is down, this play works, but his orange is still up. He has flash, he has ult, easily turned around. We're watching the replay, but we're also watching Crazy just die. Probably at the cost of Peanut, maybe not.
He has his own stopwatch here. He's going to go the opposite way and just...
They don't have any teleports, so this is probably a dead Peanut.
That's going to be Peanut going down. Another not perfect game to Kingzone.
We didn't want to show it to you guys. It's I know Peanut dying can be hard for some viewers, so we just changed the camera angle.
Sounds like a joke, but you're actually probably right. There are a lot of very, very hardcore Peanut fans here in Korea. Saw a couple of them earlier holding up a big sign that said, "We only believe in you, Peanut." Wonder what that means about the rest of the team.
Well, Peanut himself was feeling real frisky. Khan said, "I can't take a tower aggro, please. Please, Peanut." No teleports to try to get him away from this play, so Peanut, sometimes you just die.
Yeah, they're not even going to show it in the replay. You're not allowed to see it. It's Peanut after all. The god of the LCK.
Think of the children.
You can't touch him.
Wow, shout out to Spo TV. Sparing the blushes of Peanut. Khan gonna go back to farming. He's down 5 CS or so, but he's also Klepto Gangplank, so he'll work it out.
Has a call, too, for just even more obnoxious play. Don't try this in solo queue, kids. Your bottom lane is going to go 0 and 11. Thankfully, when you got Praying Gorilla on your side, they're not going to die. They're going to do very well in the bot lane. They're actually 20 CS ahead of the Varus. Speaking of which, trying to get on top of Gorilla, who does not have his own cleanse or flash or anything. The Cannon Barrage comes in. Ignar taking a lot of damage. The white health is there. Here comes Peanut, not able to save his life, just barely. And Kingzone getting a little bit deep here. Gonna freeze up Peanut. There's the flash from Ignar. And now a double kill goes to Trick.
Tempt also packs up and goes bot lane. So 4 members here are able to take down Peanut. Love the flash headbutt from Ignar. Sort of opportunistic plays he made his name for on Misfits and in the past. Nice kills going the way of BBQ. Suddenly, an even gold game as BDD wants to punish Azir. He walks straight into lane.
Temp's not going to make the same mistake twice. He's just going to hop the wall. Let's take a look at how this all started. Good control ward spot. Trick able to line it up against Gorilla.
Gorilla doesn't have the cleanse. The unsealed spellbook had the teleport before. No swap Cs. So the gray health is popped. Doesn't die instantly, but they can't disengage the kill. Chilling Smite actually to death. And this time we called the TV network. We made sure we could show it. Peanut did die. In fact, went down, headbutted by a cow. What a rough way to go.
I believe he's actually a bull.
Well, you can't milk those, so it does make sense.
Although I think he is wearing the Moon Cow Alistair skin. He was hitting the cowbell earlier on, so I stand corrected. It's kind of interesting the way that the mid lane and the bottom lane are sort of mirroring each other in terms of the CS difference. Ashe a little bit farther ahead is the highest CS in the game currently is Prey.
PD done a lot of roaming this game, but at the cost of some minion waves in the mid lane.
Oh boy, he gets the knock up and Tempt. Well, he doesn't have his flash. Nice Emperor's Divide, but good job by Peanut to lock him in. Realm Warp coming in, they really want to get on top, but here's Ignar, the 4-man. Pulverize, and well, maybe Ignar goes down. The snipe, though, nearly gets him. Nobody able to follow up, and it looks like only Ignar is going to have to pay his life for the help of the Azir. So BDD, in the end, the bloodthirsty man he is, gets a kill anyway.
Peanut couldn't have played that any better on the engage onto the Azir. I believe his W was down, so couldn't go for an escape with the shifting sands. If the ultimate actually aggroed the Krugs, maybe the Krugs would have killed Temp, but there were no Krugs, so he gets out. No Krugs, no problem. Attempt. Prey will go back to the bot lane. Nice rotational plays from Kingzone, reminding us the power of the Abyssal Voyage and the Realm War. Gonna watch the replay here. Watch the play. He used his E just previously, and Temp doesn't have a way to get out of the kidnap. Nice play from Temp. CC'd a second time, but then he does have his cooldowns. Finds a charmed life. Ignar is there for the interrupt, and Tempt lives to fight another day.
Good snipe. Prey, his mechanics are on form. Not gonna get the kill there, but helps out in killing the Mukau. So there you have it, more domination to the side of Kingzone, just a little bit of a hiccup in the bottom side. As it's only Trick this time for BBQ, who has the kills on the Sejuani.
I'm gonna turn those kills into players bot lane, but I believe Cleanse only now just came up for Gorilla. Makes this a lot harder to be pulled off by the Sejuani.
Looks like a ping just happened too. Not sure how they know, but either way, you mentioned the cleanse. It is Tom Kench.
Upside, crazy running at Khan, and the trades can be rough in the early game.
Yeah, Khan really struggling to get the barrel down. Finally does. No snipe on the last cleaver or briefcase in this case.
There was some unpaid overtime coming the way to the Pirate, but able to swiftly get away from that. Doesn't go down, but almost a solo kill by Crazy. That would have been a big confidence move for
Redemption.
The BBQ top laner.
Finally would have been able to take him down. Did get the kill in game 1, but died an extra 5 times, so.
Yes, the classic extra 5 times.
Not really a feel-good scoreline. Would have liked a solo kill. Would have made him feel a lot better, I'm sure. Our first Ocean Drake of the entire night was just picked up by Kingzone. 1 Cloud, 1 Ocean. The rest of them were Mountains and Infernals.
Pretty hard for the actual carries to use the Ocean Drake any better than GP, Ryze, and Ashe. A lot of lane presence provided by a bit more regen, so pretty high value Ocean, even if we usually talk about Ocean as a unlucky bit of RNG as the game goes on.
They really want to get onto Tempt here, but he does have his flash and nearly his cleanse as well, so Peanut looking for a different kind of roaming path, perhaps down towards the bottom side.
Vision has been pretty even between the two as Ignar notices Peanut walk in and gets Cowbell on. His Cowbell animation cancels are some of the best of any support, and for me that's a very important thing.
It's definitely very important. I have to agree. Speaking of which,
no
Khan
flash.
doesn't have his flash, and well, Crazy does have his ultimate back. Not even going to need it here, as Khan is going to be finally killed up in the top side. And Ashe Arrow comes in. It's a little bit late. If he was locked down under the turret, maybe he would have died, but again, it's Mundo.
Does slow down a turret take, though, and Kingzone already have the first brick in the bot side with the first turret blood already acquired. This is going to be a second turret to Kingzone DragonX, so just using the Ashe Arrow for tempo, not the worst use.
Not so bad. I mean, Crazy here doesn't have the best amount of turret damage either compared to Prey, Peanut, and Gorilla. They're going to stop there. They're not going to go for any inhibitor turrets or anything crazy like that. Just going to move on over the Rift Herald's coming in, and BDD says, nah, that's mine. Forces the flash out of Trick, and he's going to take him out anyway. And wow, okay, BDD, here's here to play. He controls the map. It's all his. Peanut in a little bit of trouble, but Gorilla is there. And BDD wants more blood here, going to lock down the Mundo, who is tanky, but not tanky enough. BDD picks up another kill, 4-0 and 1.
BDD flexing 2 9-kill games in his most recent series. Looking to find another one in this particular game. Remember that Khan, BDD, Prey, and Gorilla are looking to go 3-time back-to-back LCK champions. The one previously was won by Peanut, so there's a lot of streaks going on in terms of kills. This is actually just a prediction play. They say, well, they're probably there, and they were.
Drake flashes, BDD has his flash. Meanwhile, Khan is getting his own revenge in the top lane, and BDD says, well, why don't I help you with that?
BDD is coming into some ultra form at the moment. He is in just outrageous form in the last two series. Last series for Kingzone DragonX is SKT, and SKT have nothing to play for, so it'll be interesting to see how that one goes.
Will FLICKR play? Another big question.
You feel really bad if you're denied another meeting of FLICKR and BDD. Of course, the Smo TV Spring intro was about the battle between the generations there. Feels like we do have those 3 distinct generations of mid laner in FLICKR, who represents 2013, BDD and his debut in 2016, and now all the stars of 2018, like Yukal and Chovy. But yeah, that's a question we don't know the answer to, Valdez. Be interesting either way.
I'd like to see him play. It's been a while. He's a pretty good player, I've heard, as well, FLICKR. I know he's kind of unknown in the scene nowadays, but no,
I don't know if you can bring out the Pepperidge Farm about FLICKR just yet.
Yeah. Like to see him. We'll see. But I wanted to mention that that top turret didn't even go down. So we were talking about how the bottom lane was being pushed in the trade for Khan's life and the top turret plus Rift Herald, but the Rift Herald was taken by Kingzone and the top turret didn't even go down yet. So BBQ failing on a couple of objectives there, whereas Kingzone have secured a very nice lead here.
It was a 1,000 gold lead not long ago. Now it's 5,000 plus, thanks to the Rift Herald also being picked up. So yeah, gone to hell in a handbag very quickly for BBQ Olivers. Maybe not to the tune of a 25-minute victory, though. They've definitely put up a better defense in game number 2 than they were able to in game number 1. Suddenly, BDD has 4 kills on the rise, just BDD things. Holy crap, 4 minutes 50 of jungle proximity. That is what we call a camp.
He's trying, man. He's trying his hardest. Camping his very hardest in all the lanes here, nearly 5 minutes before 20 minutes. He spent about a fourth of his time in the lanes, essentially. Well, Rift Herald gets an objective. They're gonna also pick up the Cloud Drake here. What will be the next one? Looks like another Cloud Drake, so looking to bring in the speedy end to things here at the end of the night.
And Trick's just trying to blaze it. 420 is his current start line, so if he can blaze it this game, well, he'll feel good about that. BDD, 4-0-1. Again, just looking for another 9-kill game. This guy has been a raid boss in recent games. He did have a loss on the Rise. His most recent game loss was that Rise, but he had a great individual performance. Got the Realm Warp ready to go. Also got the Oblivion Orb. He is looking like he's going to potentially be able to do some big things here. As BBQ, taking a leaf from the Sungwon playbook, hiding on bush.
I love how that's a Sungwon thing now.
What else would it be?
No idea. Maybe that hide on bench guy. Heard that he's like to hide on the bush occasionally.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to focus on BDD rolling
Neither
through the
does
top lane.
BBQ, apparently. They don't know what game they're playing right now.
Can they 1v3 the Rise? What do you reckon?
Yeah. I would say yes, but...
Are you sure? He just went back and got Seraph's Embrace and the Merlinomicon.
Merc Treads too. I love the zoom in onto Prey. He's like the MVP. Able to spot them out with the Hawk Shot. They knew all along. Kingzone are always in the know.
Which 3 members on BBQ could take down BDD? Do you, if it is Alistair Sejuani, is there any one member that kills BDD?
I think you need Tempt and Ghost, and then probably Alistair. Although maybe Sejuani is better. Who has the longest lockdown time? It would be probably Sejuani,
Well,
right?
it did get nerfed by half a second on the most recent patch. Not 100% sure. I think if it was Alistair Sejuani Mundo, they would get killed. So a bit worrying how strong BD is at his present power. The map control all the way on the side of Kingzone now.
Yeah, you know, that forward control ward in the enemy red buff side, that's definitely the alpha control ward. It's a very common one to place on the blue side if you're very far behind, especially in solo queue.
Buff is releashing. Here comes the engage.
Okay, they want to get the Sejuani here. Trick does have his own stopwatch, trying to wait it out. It's not going to work out here. Looking to turn it around onto Gorilla, who will get locked down for quite a while. BDD is going to flash forward, wants to get down Trick and Tempt, perhaps. Meanwhile, on the right side, everybody being zoned out. Well, BBQ will get away, but Kingzone going to take a bunch of summoners with them.
Not sure about the 1 Teemo length Realm Warp there.
Yeah.
A little bit questionable from BDD. Not his finest moment on the Rise.
They're like, let's not end the game just yet. We want more kills. And Crazy flashed already. He is Mundo, but, well, it's BDD. He's pretty fed. He also has Khan and Prey to help out with the damage, and they're going to be able to kill Mundo. The rest of BBQ just left him to die, as they know that there's nothing they can do.
2,800 gold lead for that mid laner. 5 kills, so working on his way for the Legendary. That is 8. If you haven't played League of Legends in a while, hasn't changed as his stat marker. Double Executioner's Calling and a Merlinomicon. Feels like the balance Mundo is going to be shown in this particular game.
Yeah, another high death game here for Crazy. Seems like Kingzone particularly just like to gank the top side. But Crazy definitely has opened up some opportunities for them. As well, when you're this far ahead, Kingzone, they're getting a little bit tired. They say, how about a Baron as well? Trick not even going to try it here, as down it will go at 23.5 minutes.
Kingzone DragonX, it took a while. They did labor a bit in this game number 2. They didn't roll over the enemy team, but now they have maybe an unassailable lead, especially with BDD looking so powerful. Some sort of engage combo could happen, and Sejuani, thanks to the 4 kills, definitely a very tanky Sejuani. 100% kills on the Sejuani, though, is not what you're looking for.
Yep. Ghost and Tempt have been a bit out of the action for this game. Tempt has been in it more. couple of times up towards the top side, but not able to pick up any of the kills. Ghost happily farming along, while the rest of his team kind of falls apart around him. It's been the name of the game here for BBQ, who, again, they only have 2 wins this season. Really struggling this time around.
So many control wards down by Kingzone that very easy to problem solve where BBQ are, as, well, Khan finds out in a rude awakening.
Yeah, well, he does have his oranges available. There are 5 people chasing him right now. Temp's a little bit far behind. He is going to live, though. No flash here on Crazy, but they do want to disengage as Khan a little bit too low and BDD not in the fight. So Kingzone effectively disengaged and no one dies.
BDD was not interested in joining, doesn't want to increase his skill numbers here, or his kill numbers either. He's just happy to just roll over the turret for now. Gonna be an inner turret going down eventually around BDD.
Well, Kingzone pushing in with the Baron. Couple made in heaven, those 2 things. We've seen it many times, and Kingzone, I'm sure that they're happy that this time around against BBQ, it doesn't look anything like spring season where they drop the match to them. I was looking at BBQ's wins, and I remembered that actually. Well, I'm going to hold that thought, as Peanut wants to get into the thick of things. Is going to bring a cow with him, as Ignar is just going to be bounced back. They're going to take the turret, continue pushing on in. Will they find another engage here? Peanut's hop to the control ward, it seems, and well, this is one way to use Realm Warp.
They bring the minions with it. That's a smart use here by Kingzone. Not as cool as the Baron play, but they get over the backdoor bonus. Nicely done by Kingzone DragonX.
Yeah, definitely a good play. What I wanted to mention before is that BBQ, they've only defeated Jinair and Afrika. We mentioned before that Afrika, they're on the cusp of not making it into playoffs. I'm sure they're going to be kicking themselves for that 1 loss.
Oh,
pray.
Well,
oh no.
Rubbish. Rubbish Ash confirmed.
Oh. I won't tell him you said that.
I'm willing to tell him. I go up to him. Prey could probably 1v1 me, though, in League and real life.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
He is definitely a big boy.
Not many Korean players over 6 foot. He is comfortably clearing about 6'3".
What is that in meters? 185?
No. I'm 187, so he's probably about 191.
Oh, okay.
He's a tall boy.
That's a lot of centimeters, not meters.
If you come to a live event in Korea, you will be struck by how tall Prey is, because he does dwarf his competition. Him next to Peanut, always a delight.
Who's the 2nd tallest pro gamer in LCK? I feel like Prey is the obvious one, but is there anyone else?
I don't have a good answer to that. The only other person I remember being really tall is the BBQ Oliver's manager. He's really tall.
Yeah. I know that guy. He's quite a tall person.
Well, we have to talk about tall people, because right now it's not a tall order for Kingzone DragonX to close out this series 2-0.
I see what you did there. That was good. You're usually pretty good at getting us back on track.
Professional broadcaster, by the way. Haha.
Feels like you're pretty good at using your words.
You know, I have my
wonder
moments,
why.
and sometimes I have the sick word salad that is always going to be the payback for...
What was it that you said yesterday?
Don't ask. Don't ask.
That was probably the highlight moment from yesterday's cast.
Look, 1 out of every 2 segues goes all right. As this is an engage attempt, it didn't go all right.
Hey, look, we have Tom Kench. You thought you could kill us or fight or do anything. Ignar is going to have to pop his own ultimate. Meanwhile, the bottom side, Crazy's trying to fight against BDD. Generally not a good idea. Flash on in to get the auto to make sure they can get onto Ghost, but he's got his own stopwatch. They delay it long enough, and he will go down anyway. And, well, Kingzone, they want to bring us home early. Let's bring in a bunch of minions as well, because we want to take down the turrets as fast as possible. Looks like Kingzone should be able to do exactly that. Only templates available. BDD gonna flash on in, and the rest of BBQ, they're gonna have to go home crying, because Kingzone gonna get a couple of easy games. Khan is gonna be actually put into the pit and goes down. Kingzone not done yet. They want more kills, but finally, looks like Prey was turning for a while. He's going in. A little bit of BM towards the end, but it does not matter. Kingzone with the easy peasy 2-0 victory.
And just over 29 minutes of gameplay means we actually go through an entire best of 3 with less than 1 hour of League of Legends. And unfortunately for BBQ, of that hour, about only 15 minutes was in any way competitive. This was definitely Kingzone DragonX flexing on the hapless BBQ. BBQ are now confirmed to be in the relegation tournament. They cannot reach 4-match victories. With only 1 match left to play, they have 2. They were able to upset FLICKR, like you mentioned, early in the season. Who knows how much that will haunt FLICKR Freaks as they currently are in their own battle for top 5 as well. Kingzone DragonX get a 2-0. They move ahead of Gen G. Now that means that, yes, they will be ahead of KT because of playing more matches, but they will be ahead of Gen G with the same amount of matches played. That would mean that Gen G currently will be playing Hanwha Life Esports in the wild card, the winner of that match facing Kingzone DragonX in the first best of 5.
Yes, that is current. There is still 1 or 2 more games, depending on which team you ask, left to play for the majority of them. But BBQ, this is a summer they're going to want to forget, as it's just been loss after loss after loss. They do make some really good fried chicken, but still working on their League of Legends. Whereas Kingzone coming on in, the newer sponsor here in LCK. And picking up Longju, saying this is our team now. And so far they've been doing pretty well, looking for their 3rd LCK title. We'll see if they can get it this summer.
Again, everyone was ready to pile on to Kingzone after losing to Rogue Warriors at Rift Rivals, and they came back and had the same sort of lean failures here. They went through a really lean period domestically to Kingzone DragonX, but the wins against KT and Afrika, and Kingzone seems to always beat those teams, have propelled Kingzone to once again looking like themselves. They are once again also defaulting back to what worked in the spring season rather than the newer picks like the Kindred that they couldn't win with. They had their way with BBQ Olivers in this series, ended up being a very comfortable victory. See who the MVPs will be was Khan for that game number 1.
If I had to guess, probably BDD. Just rolling his face on the keyboard as the Rise, hitting all the right buttons. That Ash Arrow was going to hit Thames if they needed a little bit of extra damage.
Peanut Zac, always a highlight as well. Not everything was pulled off by the Ash and the Zac, but they're 2 picks. You always have to respect from Kingzone in a best of 5. So the accuracy, just the fact that they got 2 victories on the Ash that they hadn't really played early in the season is a mind game for some of their future opponents. Kingzone DragonX will play SK Telecom T1 on the final day of the season on Thursday over at OGN in our first match. While the match will not be consequential for SKT, it will be a very big match for Kingzone, as they should still be in the hunt for first place, even as late as the last day of the season.
It's going to be a big one. I'm really excited to see who is going to be the one team that stays at the top, because I feel like all 4 teams on any given day can take out any of the other 4 teams. And, I mean, best of 5s is where it's going to be at, right? It'll be probably Hanwha Life if they can get at least 1 win against KT, and hope that Afrika don't do as well to go up against one of them, and then it'll be the top 4 from there. These graphs tell you all you need to know about this series, which was just Kingzone domination from the beginning to the end. Not much to see here. We ate some chicken. We're going to have another interview with some of the Kingzone members. Khan picks up some more MVP points. Probably going to end the season as the MVP winner once again. See if he can do it.
Waiting for the confirmation on the Game 2 MVP. I'm with you. It's probably BDD. I saw the other players walking in front of us, and I don't remember seeing BDD, so a pretty good sign. Will be BDD as the second MVP interview with Kim Soo-hyun. Ready to throw it to it in just a moment, but first, let's get that confirmation on if it was the big damage dealer from the middle lane that picked up the MVP.
Yeah, it's going to be him, the Grasshopper. At least that's what I think of when I see that pose. BDD here, 800 points, 8 MVPs so far, 5-0 and 3, super clean Rise. Either way, guys, I'm going to hand it over to G-Sun. She's going to help with the translation of our final interview of the night.
Thank you very much. This is Jisun with your interview translations, and today we're gonna have an interview with Khan and BDD from Kingzone DragonX. Congratulations.
네, 건강하시죠?
네, 건강.
So, Khan, are you feeling well? Yeah, I'm totally fine.
제가 대처를 못했던 게 언제는 계속해서 좀 기억에 남더라고요. 이렇게 건강한 모습으로 다시
So
보니까
it's
너무
so good to see you back with your full health condition.
승리 소감 한 말씀 좀
So how do you guys feel about today's
부탁드립니다.
victory?
네, 승리 소감 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
이제 남은 경기들이 이제 1, 2, 3, 4위 다 한 끗 차이기도 하고 해서
So, you know, the rankings are so close, so I really wanted the 2-0 victory. So it's really happy. I'm gonna make sure to come back with better performance for our upcoming
BBQ
matches.
선수 어떠신가요?
오늘 깔끔하게 연습 경기처럼 이긴 것 같아서
I think
너무 좋고
it's really good that we performed as we do in the practice games, and I think we have to go back to our gaming house and practice more.
한 선수는요, 현재 또 MVP 포인트가
Khan,
워낙 높으세요.
You have the most MVP points so far, so you reached the first place.
어떠세요?
MVP야 뭐 당연히 받으면.
Well, MVP points, yeah, it feels good when you get it, but I don't really pay too much attention on it. I think all the teammates should share it.
네.
팀원까지 챙기는 좋은 모습이었고, 이제 1세트부터 얘기를 한번 물어봐야
So
될것
moving on to
같아요.
game 1.
1세트에 뭐 거의 칸 선수 매드무비라고 불러도
It was a montage for Khan Gragas.
들어갈수록 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여줬었는데 처음에 선취점
So
솔킬을
the first blood was your solo kill.
장면과 함께 감상이 궁금해서 네,
This is a replay.
좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
아니 그라가스로 솔킬은 사실 아무도 예상 못했어요.
Is it easy to make solo kill on Gragas?
제이스를 상대로 되게
Well, during the practice games, I have tried Gragas against Jace a lot, and I was really quite confident.
처음에 3레벨쯤에 이제
And in level 3,
한번 갱킹 시도하면서
Peanut had a gank attempt, so Jace was very low in health, so it was kind of easier for me to make a solo kill.
빠져나갈 수 없는 수렁을 오늘 많이 만드셨잖아요. 이거 원래 구도를 좀
And Gragas' Camille engagement was so strong with all the CCs.
좋아서 쓴 게 아니고 그냥
Well, we weren't really thinking about Gragas' Camille composition, but we were just picking some good champions, and those were Gragas and Camille, so we weren't really sure which champion to put on top lane and jungle.
탑 정글 서포트도 되고 이제 뭐 카밀도
We were even thinking about Gragas' support.
돌려서 썼는데 생각보다 이렇게 좋은
And I think we were able to make better result than we expected.
저였어도 죽었을 것 같아요.
I would have died there.
또 이제 다양한 또 선수들이 활약을 해줬는데 이런 얘기도 한번 물어보면 좋을 것 같아요, 민정 해설이.
네. 오늘 또 프레이 선수가
And Prey, he played Ashe for twice.
좋은 모습을 보여줬었잖아요. 이런 건 같이
He was a totally great sniper throughout the games.
미드에서 아지를 맞췄을 때 같은 경우에는 칸 선수가 그렇게 몰아내고
So what are your
예상이라는
comments
뜻이 막
having
맞추는
Prey,
모습과
Ashe in your team?
네, 어떤 생각이 드시나요? 보통 그런 애쉬 궁극기 이런 거 보면
아니 저게 어떻게 맞죠?
How can that land on Azir?
되게 신기했어요.
Well, I was really amazed by that.
되게 신고로 유명했잖아요.
You know, he's really well known for being a really great sniper.
다른 선수가 하면 놀랐을 법한도 한데 이제
But you know, it's Prey's Ashe. I don't really get surprised a lot. It's just natural.
오.
This is just normal Prey's play. He's always sexy playing Ashe.
같은 남자인 칸 선수가 볼 때도 네, 그런 매력을 발산하는 프레이 선수이기
I guess
때문에
Prey's Ashe is quite attractive.
칭찬해줬어요.
So BDD, is there any other comments? Well, I'm used to that, his plays.
다른 섹시함이.
But every time he showed me the different sexiness as an AD carry player.
네, 섹시 중인이니까.
그렇습니다. 이제 BDD 선수 이야기도 좀 한번 해보도록 할게요.
So moving on
저는
to
미드라이즈에
BDD.
대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 좀 궁금한
So,
게
how do you rate
대장군 소리도
Rise
듣지만
as mid champion?
무력하게 무너지는 모습이 좀 많이 나오잖아요. 어떠신가요?
요즘 그 영겁의 지팡이라는 아이템을 안 가서 데미지가
Well,
세졌고 탑미드
Nowadays, I think Rise players don't really build up tank items, so I think it got a little bit more stronger in terms of damage dealer.
지팡이를 갈 때는 조금 탱키한 이런 챔피언이었는데
네.
요즘은 또 주문력 위주의 아이템을 올리면서 더
I guess AP
데미지에
item builds kind of
기여를 할수
added
있는
more power
그런
to Rise
장면도 많이 나오고
nowadays.
도 진짜 많이 오늘 내셨는데 사실 이제 1세트와는 반대로 2세트에서는
However, game 2 was a little bit the other way around. You know, there was an accident in bot lane.
참잘 풀어
But
나가시더라고요.
how were you guys were able to recover from all that?
불리하다 이런 얘기는 안 했었고 저희가
We
그냥
actually
어떻게
didn't think that we were that
잘
behind,
얘기했던 것
so we just
어떤 쪽을 좀
had a communication about how to focus more.
잘 기억은 안 나는데
I can't really remember exactly,
전령
but at the Herald fight,
맞아 맞아.
네, 그 싸움에서 그냥
I think we were able to kind of recover.
네.
사실 이때부터가 좀 반전의 시작이었다. 뭐 기세가
So
완전히
this
다시
moment
돌아왔다라는
kind of made
해설들이
Kingzone to turn the game
말씀해
around, right?
주셨어요. 이때 세주환이 그대로 잡아내면서 기존에 적이 갈
You took down Sejuani, so how did you plan that?
형이
네.
이거 얘기해가지고
Well, Peanut told me that he was there, so I was able to take him down. And then we were able to pick up consecutive kills over there.
고통을 받았던 챔피언이 한 분이 더 계신 게 그 칸 선수였죠.
And Khan, you also struggled a little bit in the top lane, right?
플레이하시면서 어떠셨어요?
뭐이 대각선의 법칙이라고 하는데
You know, what
바텀에서 무언가를 하고 있었기 때문에
You know, every League of Legends players, whenever our bot laner is trying some more things, I have to kind of back up. But I was kind of getting too excited, so it was my mistake.
중간에 이제 상대방이 탑을 노리는 장면에서 고릴라 선수가 순간 이동으로 넘어오면서 또
But, you know,
옆으로
Gorilla made a
재미를
great
본
backup
장면이 또
using his
있었거든요.
TP.
그 장면을 보면서 또 얘기를 해보면 좋을 것 같습니다.
한번.
조금
So let's
기다리면서
go through the clip together.
해보실래요? 설명을.
뭐 나오네요. 네.
그래요.
이 장면이었는데 말씀 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
What was going on over there?
어떤 콜이 오갔는지.
뭐 이때 일단 피넛 선수도 탑 근처에 있었고
Well,
이제
Peanut was really close to me, and also Gorilla said he has TP to help me out.
이때 그냥 좀 뒤에 있다기보다는 좀
So I just wanted to play a little bit more aggressively.
그리고 BDD 선수가 중간에 황제의 진영을 전멸로 피하면서
BDD dodging the ultimate, and he was able to pick up the kill. It was just
역으로 진짜
perfect.
계속 뭔가를 이용하신 것 같아요. 오늘 경기가 좀 잘 풀리셨나 봐요. BD 선수.
네,
So how was
오늘
today's
그냥
game?
저희가 최근에 연습 경기에서 좀 호흡이 잘 맞아서
Well,
그대로
recently we were having really solid teamwork during the practice game, so I was a little bit confident.
선수들은 당연하고 나머지 선수들도 정말 좋은 경기를 보여주면서 2대0 승리를 가져갔던 것 같습니다.
그렇습니다. 자 이제 남은 경기 정말 서머 스플릿
Kingzone,
막판인데
your
오늘
next
2대0
opponent will be
승리하면서
SK Telecom.
또 거기다 압도적으로 또 승리를 하시면서 더 이제 기세가 좋을 것 같다는 생각이 들어요. 남은
Well, you
경기
guys did pick up 2 victories today, so you guys must be really confident, right?
자신 없는 척 하시는 것 같은데 아니죠? 한번 그러면 두 선수 각오 한번
Is there any last
들어볼까요?
message regarding to the next
이번 썸머가
matchup?
누구한테도 질 수도 있고 이제 누구한테도 이길 수 있다 보니까 딱히 이제 순위
You know, this summer split is so close. You know, every team can win and lose, so we shouldn't just let our guards down to complete the season with great results.
자 우리 BDD 선수도
And BDD,
꼭 이겨야 되는 경기라서 더 열심히 준비해서
that is a must-win matchup for us. So we're gonna make sure to come back with clean performance
오늘
to
정말
fight against SK Telecom.
완벽한 경기력이라면 충분히 다음 승리도
So this will be the end of the interview with Khan and BDD from Kingzone DragonX, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Well, was nice to hear from the boys after 25 and 29 minutes. Kingzone, they're going to take every opponent seriously. That's what I like to hear. And that's exactly what they did tonight as well, because it's BBQ, right? They could have come in, they could have played some weird stuff, maybe Quinn top, whatever. Instead, they play very, very seriously, and they lock in second place for now.
So what you guys need to know is that KT Rolster still does control the fate of the LCK in a big way. They have the 2-0 over Griffin. So if KT win both their series 2-0, no other team can move ahead of them. So KT do control their own fate, but it's KT, and they have to play twice in the final week. So join us at the Nexon Arena in 2 days' time. Gen G versus MVP. That's Gen G's end of the season if they win 2-0. They set themselves at 13 match wins, but Hanwha Life versus KT is not an easy task for KT Rolster because Hanwha Life still alive in the chase for playoffs. If Hanwha Life lose, to correct some of the stuff we were saying, the first round stuff that I was saying, my bad, it does, if Hanwha Life does lose 2-1 and it's a 2-0 for FLICKR, FLICKR actually leapfrog them and go ahead. Speaking of leapfrog.
Yeah, that's actually our AD. That's
true.
Walking in front. And yeah, that's just because Hanwha Life, they are 2 indicator points ahead. So you just have to think about what can a FLICKR do to get one indicator point ahead that would require them to win 2-0 and Hamalife to at least lose by 1, right?
But it's so hard to know. Like, we're sitting here and we're saying who's going to be the LCK champion. It's easy to say the team in the front runner seat is KT, but KT have to win twice. And 2-0, 2-0, ideally. It doesn't have to be that way. It's a possibility that other teams will drop games. But given they have 2 matches to play, really weird. All the memes about KT right now are going to come to a culmination. They are in a really good spot to win the regular season and skip all the way to that grand final, but no guarantees.
Yeah, and even if you do make it into the grand finals, any other team out of the top 4, I would say, can come in and take the finals away from you, right? We saw that Kingzone in spring were able to go first, and they did eventually win up against FLICKR, but that was when Kingzone was on top by far. Now it's 4 teams all around the same level, some weird rock, paper, scissors going on as well. KT kind of having Griffin's number, as well as Genji, you know, going down to stuff like Kingzone. It's really complicated up there towards the top. But guys, we have half a week left until everything is decided for the regular season and the postseason, and that's going to do it for us. Thank you once again for watching tonight, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
It's been many days, many ways misled, knowing that I'm tiptoeing on both sides of the fence, trying to figure it out, but I'm living in doubt. So scared one day that your grace might run out, cause I'm so far from perfect, so close to worthless, feeling no good for worship, trying to understand this life that you purchased. Am I just a man destined for death, or do I deserve it? You died for my sins and that's the verdict. You carried out God's true will and purpose with urgency for the sake of love, forgiveness and eternity. Your grace is enough. I got so many questions, so many things to change. I'm calling out, but sometimes you're far away. I get discouraged and seem to always fall flat, but that's when you pick me up and bring me back.